Cheesy the Podcast, presented by Just Cheesy Productions.
Hi there, I'm your host, Fondue. In this week's episode, we're going to find out if you've kept your New Year's resolution.
Okay.
We're going to talk a little bit about string cheese.
Introducing Stringy. It's nice to meet you, everybody.
We're going to talk cheeses and the dictators that love them.
What?
And of course, we're going to include a very cheesy joke. Stay tuned for our 9th episode of Just Cheesy, the podcast. So, Cheesy, how's the progress on your New Year's resolution?
How's yours, Fondue?
There's truly no need to get defensive, Cheesy.
Okay.
Listen, it's early in January. There's not a lot going on, and I figured we'd talk a little bit about New Year's resolutions.
Eat more cheese.
No, not quite. According to GoSkills.com, the top 10 most common New Year's resolutions are
Listen to Just Cheesy the Podcast.
exercise more, lose weight, get organized, learn a new skill or hobby,
Eat bunches of cheese.
live life to the fullest,
cheese.
save more money, quit smoking, spend more time with family and friends, travel more, and read more.
I think they missed cheese.
Well, not entirely. So I figured everybody would be dieting at this time of the year and cheese might not be on their list. But I came across an article from express.co.uk and it said how to live longer, best and worst types of cheese for your cholesterol.
Okay.
This article specifically states mozzarella, feta, and cottage cheese are some of the lower fat cheeses that they recommend. They also say that if you already have high cholesterol, that you should use the high fat cheeses sparingly. And those high fat cheeses are mascarpone, Stilton, cheddar, Parmesan, and brie. And then it starts to go down from there. So they get a little less and a little less when you get into feta and mozzarella. Then, of course, I found another article.
Of course.
Right, Cheesy? Well, anyway, on webmd.com, they have an article here that talks about the potential health benefits of cheddar cheese. And we just heard that cheddar cheese is actually high in saturated fat.
Yeah, we did.
This article points out a lot of different health benefits of eating cheddar cheese.
Let's hear them.
They say despite the saturated fat, eating cheddar might actually help lower cholesterol.
Wow.
And this is especially true for middle-aged adults. And it said it had a study that they had more success getting cholesterol levels down after eating full-fat cheese versus reduced-fat cheese or butter. Researchers credit this effect to the cheese matrix.
Red pill, blue pill, the Matrix?
No, not that matrix, Cheesy. According to milknutritiousbynature.eu, they say that cheese is a good example of these complex dairy matrices. Despite the saturated fat and salt content, the majority of the epidemiological studies report that cheese consumption does not increase the risk of CVD and may in fact be beneficial.
Wow.
And WebMD.com goes on to talk about bone strength, that cheddar cheese is a good source of calcium.
That's right.
And they talk about healthy teeth, that snacking on cheese instead of sugary snacks may actually help to reduce cavities.
Go cheese.
And that's why we here at Just Cheesy the Podcast recommend cheese as part of your New Year's resolution.
New Year's resolution, not a sponsor.
But when we get one, their ad will go right here. Just Cheesy the Podcast is sponsored by Just Cheesy Productions. It looks like a news story is about to break. There might be a video of Stringy on the beach wearing nothing but a smile. Check out the TikTok and YouTube covering this exciting news event. Now back to the podcast. It's my favorite segment.
This week in cheese.
On the website marcellathecheesemonger.com,
What's a cheesemonger?
according to the dictionary, a cheesemonger is someone who sells cheese, butter, and other dairy products. We're going to cover that in detail in a few weeks, Cheesy, when there is a contest called the Cheesemonger Invitational.
That'll be fun.
Anywho, on marcellathecheesemonger.com, they're giving away a Valentine's Day romantic dinner for two.
Ooh la la.
So this is going to start on Monday, January 10th, and it's going to run 10 days via the Instagram account called Cheesemonger1950. One lucky winner gets 2 Wagyu beef steaks, street corn, roasted potatoes and flagship sauce, Beecher's cheese and chocolate collection, flagship, Dutch Hollow, Just Jack, Marco Polo Reserve, Beecher's crackers, and Theo Pure 70% dark chocolate bar.
Holy cow.
Holy cow is right. It actually retails for $275.
Holy cow.
So we talked a little bit earlier about how mozzarella cheese could be good for you.
Oh yeah.
So what better time to talk about string cheese?
Yay, string cheese.
And for all you cheese balls out there, we have a special guest today whose name is Stringy.
Thanks for the invitation, Fondue.
Anytime, Stringy. So, Stringy, do you actually know the difference between string cheese and mozzarella?
Not really. Yeah, me neither.
According to Baker Cheese, unless you're a cheese-making professional, the process involved in crafting cheese is not part of your general knowledge. I can definitely say that about us, Cheesy.
Yeah, you can.
But what I didn't know was that string cheese is actually a result of how cheese is made, not some scary additive put into the mass-produced food.
That's so cool.
Yeah, Stringy, it really is. The stringiness of string cheese is naturally created by cheese being stretched and pulled by an auger while simultaneously being heated to 140 degrees. And they say at this temperature, the milk proteins begin to move and change and align horizontally. And this alignment allows the milk proteins to become stretchy.
So what's the difference between string cheese and mozzarella?
Technically none. It's a matter of manufacturing.
I knew that.
I figured you might. They say string cheese must always be mozzarella, and it's because mozzarella cheese is the only type of cheese that has stringing quality naturally. So snack cheese, the other type of cheese, can be any variety of cheese from cheddar to Munster, but you wouldn't be able to pull it apart in strands.
Yay, string cheese.
So I came across a news story about the North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un.
And there's something about cheese in there?
Yeah, Cheesy, there is. Back to the website express.co.uk, it says that Kim Jong-un's weight has fluctuated pretty high in the past. It's mostly because of an obsession with Swiss cheese.
Really?
Yeah, it looks that way. Evidently, his love of cheese stemmed from when he was a student at the private international school of Bern in Switzerland between 93 and 98. They say he even has special shipments delivered to North Korea, and he also sent envoys to France and North Korea so the cooks could enroll in cheese-making courses.
Okay.
He ate so much Emmental cheese that he had to retreat from public life in 2014.
That's a lot of cheese.
So it made me curious if other dictators loved cheese, and it looks like Fidel Castro did as well.
Really?
According to Ranker.com, he really liked milk. He had a huge chocolate milkshake habit, and he actually built an ice cream parlor the size of a city block.
Holy cow.
He loved cheese making so much that he actually got Canadian cows, and he wanted to recreate the Holstein milking cow. Cuba's climate was terrible for cows, and they failed to make a lot of milk.
Aw, poor cows.
So he ordered genetic engineering in the form of breeding super Cuban cows, and one success story made so much milk that when she died, her eggs were saved for cloning.
Oh boy.
He then tried to breed mini cows so that every Cuban family could have one at their home, but that effort failed.
Oh, wow.
I think it just goes to prove even baddies like cheese.
Everybody loves cheese.
Yeah, they do, Cheesy.
I think it's time for a joke, Fondue.
Okay, why do you always take tortilla chips to a party?
Why?
In queso emergency. Get it? Queso?
That wasn't funny. It was a little bit cheesy.
Thanks for joining us on episode number 9. Thanks to our special guest, Stringy. Join us next week for episode number 10.
Stay cheesy, everybody. Stay cheesy.